really appreciate having the cross here. I'm a regular donor every 60 to 90 days. I'm O negative and CMV negative, so I can give to newborns. They're after my blood all the time. If they could drain all of it out of me, they would. I encourage people to get. What would it be like if you or a loved one needed blood and there wasn't any? So please consider getting blood. Item 5.6. We live in the United States. We live in the state of California. We don't live in Israel. Okay, Jewish name. We don't live in Mexico. We don't live in France. We don't live in Chile. We live in the United States, the state of California. In my opinion, U.S. flag, California flag, and the blue lines flag to support our police officers. If we start allowing on public property, everybody's going to want a flag. There needs to be a stop to this and no precedent set. 6.1, repairing, storage, and sale of bicycle parts. There's a big storage out in behind the police station for bicycle parts and bicycles that are evidence, and there is one over at the gun range also. We don't need parts on our public property. The problem with that is, though, that some of this is going to go underground. I mean, I stopped at Starbucks before I came over here. There were bicycles over there that are being taken apart in a parking lot. Thank you.
The next speaker is Michael Orangia.
Thank you. In your behavior last meeting towards the city manager was atrocious. And that's very unprofessional to do something like that. She tried to explain to you that they do not have the staff to lay out all of these things that you want. She told you, you pick a couple of things, we'll get all that information for you, give you all the background and what these contractors provide for the city. Not the entire check register. They'd be doing that without having any time to do anything else in this city. You gentlemen, I'm a little confused here. Now, I know that the overwhelming majority of people whose families came from South Vietnam hate the communists for what they did. They're overrunning the South. Why are you giving recommendations or attention to people who do business with the communist government over there? I don't quite understand that. I don't know why you're doing it. I don't know whether it's because he's a campaign donor or whether there's some attention that you want from this guy. I still haven't quite figured that out yet. But every time I see one of these things where members of the city council are giving these proclamations to somebody who either lives there or supports that country by doing business over there, what does that say to the rest of the Vietnamese refugees here? You're essentially thumbing your nose at them and telling them, well, yeah, well, that was before, but this is now, and we want to keep business interests open with this guy. So I'm a little confused on that. Maybe somebody could enlighten the rest of us. Mayor, you brought up about the prayer at the beginning of the meeting. How does this sound? We have a bunch of wonderful churches and temples in this city. See if maybe priest, minister, Buddhist monk, a rabbi, see if they would like to come down and give their blessing to the city at the beginning of the meeting. It would also allow them to participate in the city council meeting and also let the public see all of the churches that we have in this city instead of having one of the council members do it. It would look really, really nice if we had somebody from one of the churches or temples come in here and give our benediction to us. Christine, you have a lot more patience than I would have had. Thank you.
I just wanted to quickly respond to that. I wanted to thank you for your recommendation. The only thing is that we need to work with staff, and at the same time, we want to make sure that, you know, it takes a lot of time, staff time because coordinate to have one comment is not easy, because it has to be, you know, calling back and forth in order to get, and you know, that staff, I don't want to overload staff. So we'll consider your recommendation, and we'll take a look at that. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Kim Springer.
First, say happy birthday. It's your birthday, so happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you for allowing me to view my thoughts on items 5.6. I'm sure you are already aware that there's a Vietnamese flag at Freedom Park that will fly at half-mast during Black April. I and many others, as evident on social media, believe that this should be enough to show support to the Vietnamese community. As I've said in the past, Westminster is a community of many different nationalities. We should not be catering to one specific group. The flags currently flown at the Civic Center are the U.S. flag, the state flag, the city flag, and the MRA and the POW flag. Hanging the Vietnamese flag at the Civic Center is opening a Pandora's box. This would open the city to accommodate every ethnic group. For example, should this be approved, what's not to stop the Hispanic population to request Mexican independence flag, or the African American population to request a Black Lives Matter flag? Or to go even further, the women's independence and LGBTQ plus flags be flown. It's my understanding that in previous council that the LGBTQ was told no. So why are we going to do something different for this? It's quite obvious that we cannot accommodate everyone. In the past, during Black April and the Tech Parade, there were Vietnamese banners all down Bolsa Avenue. I strongly believe this should be enough. We live in America. We all should be proud of the United States of America flag. Our flag represents all that live in the United States and doesn't differentiate between natural-born citizens and immigrants. We should all pledge allegiance to the United States flag. Thank you.
The next speaker is Jessica Mastana.
Hello, I'm Jessica Lostana. I live here in Westminster, and I'd like to address the tone of public comments in recent meetings. Here in the audience, things really are not good. People are booing each other, ridiculing each other, and I don't know if you can hear it when you're on the dais, but we definitely hear it up there. That's why I've gradually moved closer to you, because it gets very loud in the back. I can recall at least 4 times where law enforcement had to intervene, and most concerningly at the last meeting, I saw several people give public comments critical of other non-elected members of the public, yet I didn't witness anyone from the dais intervening on that to stop the behavior. People in the audience are not being held accountable for what they say or do at the podium or away from the podium in the audience, and it's making the council chambers a really hostile place for everyone. We're being intimidated from speaking, and even though I'm really not part of any faction, I don't even feel entirely safe all the time. So what I'm requesting is that you speak up when somebody comes to the podium and criticizes an individual that's not an elected member of the council. And furthermore, I'm asking that you hold members of the public accountable to the rules of decorum that are posted and that you shared, but are often ignored. It's really great that you really went into detail this meeting about the way we need to behave, but it's also important that while the inappropriate behavior or comments are being made, that you stop and interrupt the meeting to stop that, because there's sort of an atmosphere of intimidation out there. And when you don't intervene, then lost my point, sorry. When you don't intervene, it gets even more hostile, and the intensity of the animosity gets worse. So I'm going to urge you to speak up to protect the integrity of the public comments period. And really, we all need to do our part to make this public comments period an important part of the meeting. And the other quick issue I'd like to address is item 6.1. That's the bicycle repair storage ordinance. I wholeheartedly support it. I think it really can move our city forward. And when it comes down to it, that's what we want. We elected you to bring our city forward. We want to wake up in a community that is safe, and we want to go to bed in a community that's safe. And I think that can really do that. Thank you very much.
Councilmember and publics, I don't mean to respond every comments, but I would like to thank for your input. The reason I respond to this is because I read the decorum, but I forgot to read the part that need to be addressed. All remarks by members of public shall be addressed to the mayor, presiding officer, or to the city council as a whole, and not to any other member or members of public, or to any individual member of the city council, unless in response to a question or comment from that member. So I would like to add that to the portion that I read earlier. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The next speaker is Westminster Watchdog Tribune.
Good evening, happy birthday, Carlos. I'm just sorry you have to spend it here at this shit show. Thank you for the proclamation designating March 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day, honoring and welcoming home, albeit 50 years too late, our U.S. veterans who served during the Vietnam War. Amy and Antoine claim that they want to move the city forward, but they're obsessed with the past. Items 3.5 and 3.6 have absolutely no bearing on current city business or moving the city forward. 3.5 proves once and for all, Major C did not cost the city $400,000 as fake news propagandists claim. Why didn't you request 3.6 before you disbanded the QT committee? And why didn't you request a report of the Quan Chi Victory Foundation's lawsuits cost to date? Former QT committee members are seeking legal counsel to consider also suing the city. No surprise, two factions of this council have wasted thousands of taxpayer dollars on monuments about a foreign battle on foreign soil over 50 years ago that 99% of our residents don't care about or want. Just more political grandstanding bullshit. Just like Amy's unconscionable attack on our city manager's integrity and transparency at the last meeting. Zip it, Amy, and pay attention. Item 5.1 will allow our police officers to spend more time fighting crime versus being mental health counselors. The OC is fairly new and has had some issues such as the termination of Telecare, their substance abuse provider, due to allegations of uncredentialed staff, questionable billing practices, and failing to provide key services. Well has selected a new provider, but it will take months before they are licensed and operating. Item 5.3, the 2024 TEP Parade should be held on Saturday, February 10th. It's cheaper and more participation and coincides with the TED Firecracker event at Asian Garden Mall. 10 to 15,000 people managed to attend on the first day of TED, so that argument is weak. If there's an ad hoc committee formed, it should be 2 different members. Item 5.6, no to flying the South Vietnam flag at Civic Center. Only the U.S., California, and city POW flags belong here, period. If you fly any other flag, you will set a precedent and have to fly any flag requested by any group, i.e. LGBT pride flag in June. It's all or none. The South Vietnam flag is flown at Sid Goldstein Freedom Park, right across the street where Black April events are held anyway. Yes, on item 6.1, bicycle chop shops fly our city are a nuisance and encourage theft. I trust our police department will use appropriate discretion with enforcement. Question, since this applies to public property only, what if a business, Walmart for example, has this occurring on their private property and they want help? Will our PD be able to do anything? Mr. Mayor, Mr. City Attorney, since when is it okay for speakers at this podium to attack other members of the public, by name even, instead of addressing this council about matters under its jurisdiction? Answer, it's okay when the speakers are the mayor's supporters, as evidenced at the last meeting repeatedly. This is unacceptable, and the ordinance clearly states speaker time can only be expanded, not reduced. This council had better get shit together and stop violating law and policy, or residents will start seeking legal ramifications. You can bank on that. Amy West, Amy West, Amy West, Amy Van West, Amy Van West, Amy Van West. Pay attention.
Once again, I would like to ask to refrain from using the profanity language because I have calls from the community that their kids are attending the meeting, and this is a professionalism, and we continue to have that. You know, I'm sure that the parents wouldn't let them participate. Thank you. Next, Council, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The next speaker is Lynn Blue.
Xin chào, tôi nói tiếng Việt không ạ? Xin chào thị trường, phó thị trưởng Ba
I have to say this because at the last minute I know that there is no interpreter today. So if you want to have the interpreter, you have the right, but you have to find your own because according to the policy, if you need the interpreter, you need to let us know upfront. And unfortunately today that we don't have the interpreter. So present yourself and
I lived in Westminster City
Rất lâu rồi,
for a long time, a very long time.
tôi đi nghe nhiều lắm rồi.
I've heard a lot,
Biết là
make me deaf.
nha, hôm nay tôi có ý kiến với 3 ủy viên mới và cùng 2 ủy viên cũ là 5.
Today I'd like to have some opinion to the new 3 members and the 2 council members for the veteran members.
Cùng làm chung một thành phố Westminster
Who are working for the city,
như là một cái nhà.
like in a family home.
Chúng ta phải tôn trọng nhau,
We have to respect one another.
quý mến và giúp đỡ nhau.
Love, respect each other.
Để xây dựng cái thành phố Westminster ngày một giàu mạnh.
To help build our city to become prospective.
Những chuyện cũ bỏ qua hết.
Let's go of the past.
Và nhìn vào tương lai 2023.
I'm looking forward to the new year's business.
Tức là 5 ủy viên.
5 council members, or
Five. Tức là cùng ngồi xuống,
let's sit down,
góp ý kiến,
share opinions,
xây dựng,
constructive,
bàn thảo
discuss,
để cùng nhau góp ý để xây dựng lên một cái thành phố, chứ đừng có mang những chuyện cũ vào lại.
to brainstorming to help construct the city, help develop the city.
Tuyển dụng nhân viên, rồi giúp những nhà hàng, rồi giúp những người già như chúng tôi đó, được sinh hoạt ở đây nè rất là sung sướng đó.
To recruit talent, hire talented people to help the elderly and help business.
Rồi, tôi muốn nói một câu như thế này: một cây làm chẳng lên non, 5 cây chụp lại lên thành phố xinh. Tôi thành phố Westminster, tôi không muốn nghe nói nhiều những cái quá khứ mà phải ngồi bàn bạc cùng nhau trong một nhà, có sự tôn trọng trên dưới. Đó là tôi chỉ mong muốn như thế thôi, và xin kính chúc mọi việc sẽ thành công.
She said, I cannot really translate it, it's an old Vietnamese idiom, but she said, singly we cannot achieve much, but together united as a whole, 5 members, she hopes that you guys can work together to build Westminster to become wealthy, respected, and she wishes everything would work well for the city and for you guys.
Tuyển dụng nhân viên nhiều nhất là cảnh sát. Xin hết.
And to police officers to help rebuild our city, and she was everybody up.
The next speaker is Tony Wu.
Good evening, Mayor Chi Nguyen and Vice Mayor Nam Quan Nguyen, City Council Island West, City Council Sacramento, and City Council Kim Lee Ho. Today is the Women International Day, and I have good flowers for the Woman of the Year. That is flowers to Kimberly Hall, including with a gift for her to clean up Sacramento. Because last year she said she will clean up Sacramento if she gets elected there. However, she's still here. So here's a gift for you to clean up your city and clean up your corruption mind. Yes, it for you. The reason I come here because in the past year, our city has wasted more than $800,000 on Measure C, which is spearheaded by Kim Lee Ho, polluted with Carlos Menzo, and I know I had the ordinance, which three of you said yes, vote for it, because you three dream to sit at the seat of mayor, because nobody voted for you, and you want to take turn to sit on that place. Shame on you, the people reject that position. So here's a gift for you, and hope that you can use it for your home. And I would like to ask the city to give a letter of reprimand on Measure C, which made our city waste more than $800,000. So now, today, I keep on playing the things so that all the people know the truth about our person there. Here it is. This is a Kimberly Ho, and she said, if I was elected, I will, not elected, I will remove myself. So I hope that you will keep on with your promise. Don't eat your words. If you do that, you will not succeed in the next position, Kimberly. So I recommend you to do is you tell the people, I will remove myself from the city of Westminster. Best wish to you if you keep on your promise. Thank you.
Madam City Clerk, before you call the next speaker, I'd like to make sure that you heard that comment from the public that please retain. If you need to speak among yourself, please go out of the conference room because we are conducting city business right now. So I would like to sincerely ask you to be, to conduct yourself outside if you need to talk among yourself.
Mayor, I'd like to say something.
Sure.
Okay. I just want to really quickly respond to Mr. Tony Bui, who repeatedly every meeting, I know everybody's really tired of listening to all that, and my words were taken out of context, and I did state that I did not want to sit simply because I didn't want to watch all the corruption coming back to our city and all the things that are going to be done to our city. So, but as a result, my constituents, the 6,000 people who voted for me, want me to stay, and so I am here because I want to continue to serve my constituents. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Sandra.
Good evening, our City Council members, city officials, present. As a Westminster resident, taxpayer, voter, I have some expression to you. From 1954 to 1975, the ideology war between freedom and communism killed more than 58,000 US freedom defenders and more than 200,000 Republican of Vietnam freedom fighters. That blocked the way of the communists traveling to the South Vietnam. To less, more than 50,000 Vietnamese escaped from Vietnam and reached the free world. Of course, everyone has a political party, right, including communism. However, communists or associates should not live in our free society unless they want to be a sleeping cell or spy for the communists. Westminster is my home, my town, and the USA is my country. My home here, my land here, my country here. The communism infiltration and the business thing caused the Republic of Vietnam to fail under communists since 1975. For this reason, I do not want same destruction will happen again in my city, in my country. All freedom lovers, we must join hands to get rid of the communism. Communist sympathizer from our city. And we have a section of 548 about the Vietnamese flag and black apple. The South Vietnamese flag that represents freedom defender symbolism. By that reason, I'd like you to approve to hand our half staff to remember all the fallen freedom defender. Thank you.
The next speaker is Amy Mai.
Translate. So can I read off first and then translate them?
Sure.
After I read off. Thank you.
I just want to remind you that you have to work 6 minutes.
Yes. Kính thưa quý vị nghị viên thành phố Westminster và staff. Tôi Amy Mai là cư dân của thành phố Westminster và là cử tri. Kính thưa quý ba vị nghị viên thành phố Nguyễn Mạnh Trí, Charlie Nguyễn Mạnh Trí, Amy Phan và Nam Quang. Quý vị đã ao ước được chức vụ nghị viên thành phố. Chúng tôi nghĩ rằng quý vị sẽ làm tốt hơn những nghị viên cũ, nhưng thật là thất vọng và sỉ nhục. Quý vị đã làm trái nguyện vọng của người dân thành phố Westminster, bắt tay và bọc đít lũ cộng sản. Lũ cộng sản là tội đồ của đất nước Việt Nam. Quý vị không xứng đáng ngồi trên những chiếc ghế ngày hôm nay mà quý vị đang ngồi, làm cho cộng đồng Việt Nam cộng sản bị ô nhục, lây. Giờ đây chúng tôi là người dân đã cảm nhận được ai là nghị viên thành phố chân chính và ai là người phục vụ dân cư có đạo đức. Đó là nghị viên Kimberly Hồ và Carlos Menzel. Họ làm việc có chuyên nghiệp và đúng theo policy và procedure của Westminster. Họ làm việc quang minh, chính đại, chính nghĩa,
Không như quý vị. Quý vị hành xử với người dân như một bè phái băng đảng, mafia và chỉ biết hận thù, không biết dấn thân phục vụ cư dân. Vì sao tôi nói chữ hận thù? Vì quý vị vừa lên ngồi trên chiếc ghế nghị viên đã hủy bỏ ngay tượng đài tái chiến cổ thành Quảng Trị. Đây là một việc nghĩa và việc bác ái các linh hồn đã vì hai chữ tự do đã hy sinh cho quý vị mới được ngồi hôm nay. Sao quý vị vô ơn và vô cảm? Quý vị không biết để đốc lại cho con cháu quý vị hay sao?
Hey. Knock off the language.
Good evening. I'll try my best to translate for her. So, good evening, all City Council. You wish to be elected in your position, but you took advantage of the trust of the residents, and you are go behind, and you were communicating or went to David Yoon party with the communists there, the airlines that were a stakeholder of the communists, and you know, for all these people, refugees, they cost their life to get here with all these, and they trust in you, but you going behind, and I know that Kimberly Ho was invited too, but she, you know, didn't go, and Kimberly Ho and Carlos Manzo were doing a good job performing their job at their, you know, position, and you guys are just like going behind and doing all these things that is not to the resident wish. There are a lot of people dying on the ocean. The soldier doing, you know, the soldier died for freedom, and now you go behind, and you act like you all act like mafia, whole bunch of mafia, and doing behind the resident back and communicating with the communists. You both, Charlie and Namwan and Cheetah, were issuing the recommendation to Ngô Thanh Vắng, and now you say that you were like, you didn't know there were communists there? You do know, okay? You do know. So that's all I can, I mean, like, that's what you want to translate, right?
To me, yes, please.
The next speaker is
Before the next speaker, so I'd like to remind you need a translator. Please, if you need a translator, I think that we need to be sure so that the translator can translate for you, because I have seen that the correlation between the translator. As a Vietnamese, I know exactly what she said and what exactly translated there. So if you want to talk, you can come up and talk. So I'm not speaker, but please shorten so that we can translate it. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor. Can you please address the two gentlemen that are disrupting the meeting with their baseball hats? Please.
Could I just briefly, can I address
Yes, please.
Yes, please. I'm hearing a lot of discussion and conversation back there, maybe even some disagreement. You're not allowed to disrupt the meeting, so this is just a warning. Please do not disrupt the meeting. If you have to have a conversation, you need to go outside, as was instructed at the beginning of the meeting. So this is just a warning. Please do not disrupt the meeting.
Thank you, Councilmember Menzo, and also City Manager.
Good evening. From now on, I'll try to be, like someone suggested, be a professional. So I'll say good evening to Mayor, Charlie, and the council members. Well, you guys cut our speaking time from 5 minutes to 3 minutes because as Councilwoman Van West stated, you don't want to listen to our father. You have to do city business. So I'm here tonight to lecture you and to hopefully, I know you're very upset when I said that you're stupid. Either you pretend to be stupid so that, to get around the law, or you're really stupid. So I'll explain to you why. Just like the city has to like Council Menzel has to remind you, and the city attorney has to tell the people, your electees, to stop yelling, to stop making commotion, right? According to you, before every oral communication, you stated the rule, right? But every time the people on your side trashing other people, interrupting other people speaking, you do nothing, right? So even everybody here knows that. The city staff knows that. Either you're stupid or you pretend to be stupid, right? Okay, just Mayor Nguyen, from all those lackeys, hoodlums, I just want to let you know, I now have proof regarding the threat that the car that threatened my life around a year ago. And that person texted you. The message is for you, but he texted me by mistake. That's why I received the message addressing you. I reported it to the Anaheim Police Department. And I will follow up with that because I know exactly who that person is now. Okay? Just so you know. You know why the people are upset, calling you guys new gang of three? Because you are breaking the law by colluding with one another. Thank you.
Well, I have to respond to this one. This truck is, this topic was brought up a lot of times already. Let me tell you this, I'm not responsible, whoever that you're talking about, that texted me, I'm not responsible for that texting. And at the same time, please bring it forward, please take it to court, whatever you need to do. I am here to serve. Thank you.
Mayor, if I may add to that particular discussion isn't within the council's jurisdiction, it's city business, I don't believe. So if to the degree that it's not, that's